The Gilded Age, the age of revolution that helped us reach where we are today, immigration. Immigration today may seem like a very long and difficult process, but it was much harder to immigrate in the past. The stakes were higher. In 1860, the resident population was 31.5 million. Between 1865 and 1920, there had been a 30 million rise in population. Since the economy was becoming more and more industrialized here in America, the demand for workers was high, so many were drawn here in search of a better life. Ensuring the United States was easy, the travel there, however, was much more difficult. While transportation had improved up to this point, for many of the immigrants coming here, money was an issue. However, the cheaper tickets often meant an uncomfortable journey in the ship's steerage. Many entered through Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, San Francisco, or Seattle. However, more than 70% of immigrants entered through New York, which dubbed it the Golden Door. The Statue of Liberty on Ellis Island symbolized a place of hope and refuge for many newcomers. There were many people coming through this time to America that in 1982 the federal government began to require that all immigrants undergo a physical examination. Those with contagious diseases such as tuberculosis were quarantined or even deported. Those with trachoma, an eye disease common among immigrants, were automatically sent back. Many families were split up because of this new requirement. While they came in search of different lives, many immigrants were naturally drawn to places where people of the same ethnicity had already gathered. It was true that they wanted a new life, but most of them didn't want to completely forget where they had come from. These places soon became known as ghettos, places where the same ethnicities ruled. However, some ghettos were formed due to racial discrimination. During this time, discrimination was very high, especially towards Asian immigrants. For many newcoming Asian immigrants, the times were hard. Jobs that were available were often lower paid than for Americans. Laws and anti-Asian groups formed to try to exclude them, such as the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, the Gentleman's Agreement, and the Webb Alien Land Law of 1913 in California, which prohibited alien farmers from owning land. Most of the anti-Asian groups claimed that they were inferior to Americans. For the incoming 5,000 plus Mexicans, the reaction was slightly different. Many employers were glad that they were willing to take up the tough jobs that no one else wanted. When World War I hit, demand for workers increased greatly and many new immigrants came to the U.S. once again. But when the Mexican Revolution and Civil War occurred, millions died due to soldiers looting and destroying their villages and crops. By 1925, Los Angeles had the highest population of Spanish-speaking residents due to all the immigration. So while this age had its ups and downs, it led us to where we are now with our diverse cultures and races. Society has learned to look past the differences among us. We are what makes up America.